Good Friday evening, everybody. 9:32 p.m. here on the 21st of February. So we're a month away from spring. So that's good. And closing in on St. Patrick's Day as well. So you got to love that. So I thought we'd just do some all-time great teams. But this time tonight, thought we would do in Action PC Baseball. So this is one I've been sitting on for a little while, and I think it's a pretty good one. So let's jump into it. I'm looking at these pitching matchups here. I'm kind of looking at either Orioles versus the A's, Jim Palmer versus Eddie Plank, or the Yankees versus the Tigers, Jack Cheesebro, Mickey Lawlich. So some good stuff here. There's the Mets, Dodgers. They all look good. But yeah, there's Walter Johnson versus Fergie Jenkins. So that would be interesting. So you would have like the Twins, which would be the Twins and the first iteration of the Senators, and then the Texas Rangers, which of course would be the second Washington Senators. So I'm not sure yet, but I know there's lots of other baseball going on. And Legends, I was too late getting home from work, but Legends did an American League game. I believe Steve Tate. He has a broadcast going on of Fields of Dreams. It has the narrator calling it, but he's manning the pump there, as you will. So let's have a little bit of fun, and let's do Palmer versus Plank. All right, and let's go out to it. So this is going to be an opening day type thing. All right. Hope everybody's doing well, and we have some new subscribers to the family. So always glad to welcome them in. So this should be pretty fun. Hope you guys enjoy. Robert, you said you had your last dance with Mary Jane, Tom Petty, and he counts. Yeah, Tom Petty, of course, counts. Of course, being a member of the Traveling Wilburys and a great artist of his own, may his memory be eternal. So a great interview where Tom Petty kind of got the call to be part of that. But here's a little bit of trivia. We're talking about the Traveling Wilburys, by the way. Really the world's first supergroup. Truly supergroup. Is that when Roy Orbison had died, and may his memory be eternal, one of the people tagged, "Hey, Greg Gorecki, how you doing, man? Good to see you." George Harrison actually wanted Lindsey Buckingham to join the Traveling Wilburys. That would have been amazing. Lindsey, of course, a fantastic guitar player. So, but I forget who they got instead or whatever, or maybe that was the end of it. Anyhow, yes, that counts. All right, so this is going to be a mixture of Oakland, Philadelphia, and Kansas City A's. So even though we're using the term Oakland, and that's going to be the same for the Orioles, because they're going to have, Orioles and St. Louis Browns. So let's do it. Let's have some fun. That's what it's all about. Yep. Yeah, by the way, before we get into this, I want to thank everybody for coming to last night's broadcast where we had a first look at Lance Hafner's Full Count Baseball. Bart Ewing, he says, hello, everyone anxious to pick out the rare Kansas City A's greats. There you go. Welcome in, Bart. Good to see you. All right. So, yeah, we had a first look at Lance Hafner's Full Count Baseball, a game I always wanted to play, never got the chance. And I love it. I'm waiting for the next big update in April. So, guys, get it. It's free. Has every season in it right now from 1871 to 2023. Plus, so there's like 4 different all-time great teams in it. It's DOS, but it's really cool and deep. And Jason Leonard, Shannon Lynn doing great work with the game. Jason has been doing amazing work. I don't know Jason personally, but would love to get him on the channel sometime if he ever comes across our little community to talk about sort of bringing Lance Hafner's Full Count Baseball back. And I'm sure there's, maybe other people want to hear about the other Lance Hafner games too, the 2 basketball games and the football game and all that. So Greg says just prior to the pandemic, he saw ELO for the first time in 40 years. Their opening act was George Harrison's Sons Donnie. How about that? So Jeff Lynne is a mega Beatles fan. And I mean, you could always hear in ELO's music such a profound Beatles influence. And if you want to hear a great song, Jeff Lynne that he did just a few years ago, it's called When I Was a Boy. Check it out. It's a beautiful song. And John Lennon and Paul McCartney and George and even Ringo, they all could have had a hand writing it. It's just an amazing song about being a musician, whatever. It's great. It's a great song. I love Jeff Lynne. Has one of the most distinctive voices in rock history. He just has this amazing. He has a beautiful voice, Jeff Lynne. All right, welcome to opening day, guys. Opening at Oakland County Coliseum, and it's going to be the Orioles and the A's locking up, and we have 2 Hall of Famers locking horns here. Jim Palmer versus Eddie Plank. 55 degrees here, so a chilly day as you would expect in Oakland early in the season. 55 degrees, wind speed 6 miles per hour, right to left. Jim Palmer, 21-11, a 2.45 earned run average, and Eddie Plank, 20-12, 2.30. So Gettysburg Eddie versus Jim Palmer, and let's get into it. Play ball. There will be no baseball chin wag tomorrow night, guys. Usually we do those on Saturday. Won't be one tomorrow night. So just letting everybody know. All right, looking at the starting defense here for the A's. I'm going to try to not call them by their city names because they're both, yeah. So in left field, Bob Johnson. In center field, bucket foot Al Simmons. In right, probably some boos going up here, Jose Canseco. At first base, double X, Jimmy Fox. At second, Eddie Collins. At shortstop, Bert Campaneris. At third, Sal Bando. Behind the plate, Black Mike, Mickey Cochran. And Gettysburg, Eddie Plank on the mound. Leading off here for the Orioles, Brian Roberts. So 10 home runs, 59 runs batted in, a 284 average for Roberts. And hope you guys enjoy the game. We get to talk a little bit of baseball if you want. The 1-2 pitch on the way from the lefty Plank, and this one driven to right center field. Al Simmons plays it on the hop, and Roberts is aboard. So here we go. All right, batting in the number 2 spot here for Baltimore, or for the Orioles, George Stone, left fielder, 307 average, 3 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Roberts at first base with 34 steals coming into the season. Plank studies the runner, and the 3-0 pitch on the way. And this one misses, and Stone will draw the walk. So Eddie Plank in a little bit of trouble here. Base hit and a walk. And here's Ken Singleton. So few switch hitters in this lineup here, as we will see as we go along. So right now we just have one, or we have 2 in the Orioles lineup. Let's see. And the A's, no switch hitters in their starting lineup. Here's Ken Singleton. Coming into the season, again, a 315 average, 26 home runs, 91 runs batted in for Singleton. All right, Plank looking for a quick double play here. And Singleton swings in the first pitch, and this one lined out to left, right to Bob Johnson. So nobody able to move up. One away now for Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray, always a scary hitter. Murray with a 313 average, 29 home runs, 109 runs batted in. Plank deals home. The 1-1 pitch. Murray swings. This one a tapper to short. Campaneris ranging to his right. Great play. Collins to Fox. Campaneris to Collins to Fox. And there you go. 6-4-3 double play. And that retires the side. Campaneris making an excellent play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first. The Orioles nothing. And the A's coming to bat, looking at the starting defense for the Orioles. In left field, George Stone. In center, Brady Anderson. In right, Ken Singleton. At first, Eddie Murray. At second, Brian Roberts. At short, Cal Ripken. At third, Brooks Robinson. Catching Rick Farrell. So Rick Farrell, the only St. Louis Browns player representing here in the starting lineup, and Jim Palmer. Leading off here, Eddie Collins, one of the great base stealers of all time and great second baseman. 329 average for Cocky Collins, 3 home runs, 72 ribbies in the season. Infield looking for Collins to bunt. So Robinson in at third and Eddie Murray in at first. All right, Palmer winds and deals. 3-0 pitch, and Eddie Collins draws the walk as this one misses low. And Eddie Collins with some incredible speed. All right, here's Bert Campaneris. So if you're looking for your Kansas City A's, here's one of them. So Campaneris, 273 average, 8 homers, 45 runs batted in coming into the season. Campaneris, an excellent defensive shortstop. And Campaneris has speed. Waiting on deck, one of the true power, and somebody with true power here, Bucketfoot Al Simmons. Much like Lou Gehrig was in the Yankees, Al Simmons overshadowed by Jimmy Fox, but great player, of course, Hall of Famer. Aloysius Szymanski is his real name. All right, Palmer deals to Campaneris, 2-0 pitch, and this one popped foul, third base side. Giving chase is Brooks Robinson, but this one is going to make the seats. All right. 2 balls, 1 strike on Campaneris. There goes Eddie Collins, and Eddie Collins does one of the many things he did best, and that is steal a base. Projected to steal about 47 this season, so Eddie picking up his first theft here. All right, Palmer behind Campaneris, 3-1, and here is the pitch. Campaneris swings. This one drilled to center. Eddie Collins scores easily, and the A's draw first blood. It's 1-0. All right, here is the center fielder, Bucketfoot Al Simmons. So Simmons, crazy numbers here coming into the season. A 361 average, 25 home runs, 131 runs batted in. Bert Campaneris on at first. Campaneris also fast, so projected to steal about 48 to 50 bases. So on par with Eddie Collins in terms of steals anyhow. All right, Palmer fires it home, and no, Campaneris go off to the races, and the A's bring in the running game here. So Campaneris, 2 successful stolen bases now in a row for the A's. All right, Bucketfoot Al back in the box, 0-1 pitch on the way. Simmons swings, fly ball to right, going back is Singleton, and he will make the catch at the track. Tagging and holding second is Campaneris. So 1 away now for one of my favorite players of all time, the beast himself, Jimmy Fox. 334 average coming into the season, 32 home runs, 150 runs batted in. If you guys are following the Legend Sports universe, you know that all-time great A's team has just been wreaking havoc. So, again, I say this a lot for this great franchise, how sad that it's moving again. We've all had a lot of laughs in the past few years about the A's, but you look at their history. This is a great franchise, and it's too bad Oakland couldn't pony up for a damn ballpark. So now they have no professional sports teams left, because I guess my understanding is they're either going to be playing in San Jose or Sacramento, whichever. So I guess it's over now. I don't know what they're going to do with this abomination of a ballpark that they ruined when they add those stupid press boxes up there and all that extra crap. Anyhow, here we go. And Jimmy Fox swings on the first pitch, grounded deep to short. Ripken up with it and fires on to Eddie Murray for the 6-3 putout. Bert Campaneris looked back by Ripken there, and it brings up Black Mike, Mickey Cochran. Cochran, a 327 average coming into the season, 12 ribbies, 12 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Jim Palmer spins and throws back. Campaneris not caught napping, though. But that was a close play, though. All right, here we go again. Cochran, line drive, base hit to right field. Campaneris, with his speed, scores easily. Cochran picks up the RBI single, and the A's lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the first for Bob Johnson. 314 average, 25 home runs, 107 runs batted in. So Palmer getting touched up here a little bit. Stolen bases helping a lot. The 1-2 pitch, Johnson grounded to third. Brooks Robinson makes that play look easy, fires on to first with a 5-3 putout. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. 1 in the books here at the Oakland County Coliseum. and the A's lead the Orioles 2-0. All right, Cal Ripken Jr. will be leading things off here. Ripken, 301 average with 33 round trippers, 97 ribbies for him. Gettysburg Eddie deals 1-1 pitch, and this one tapped to short. Collins to Fox all day, every day. 4-3 put out, 1 away. All right, here is Rick Farrell, Hall of Fame catcher. So Farrell, not known for the stick, but a great defensive catcher by all accounts. Rick Farrell, a 298 average with 2 home runs, 53 runs batted in. So Rick Farrell representing here. 1-2 pitch, and Farrell taps this one to Sal Bando, makes the long throw across the diamond. Jimmy Fox has all day to make the retrieval. So 2 away here now. For center fielder Brady Anderson, 24 homers, 75 runs batted in, 276 last season. Plank deals 0-2 pitch to Anderson. Anderson swings, and this is going to be a base hit into right field. Canseco playing it on the hop and fires into Eddie Collins. So the Orioles with the runner on, and here is the great. There are not enough superlatives for the great Brooks Robinson. Robinson with a 287 average, 20 home runs, 88 runs batted in. Eddie Plank throws over, keeping Mr. Anderson honest here. He will pilfer some bases. Expect anywhere from 28 to 30. 0-1 pitch on the way, and this one drilled up the middle. Simmons has it, and moving to third is Brady Anderson. So runners at the corners now as Jim Palmer steps in. 200 batter with 2 RBI last season. Palmer looking to get one back here in the top of the second in Oakland. 0-2 pitch. And Jim Palmer is not going to do it this way. Swing and a miss. Steer right 3. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second inning. The A's lead the Orioles 2-0. And it'll be Canseco, Bando, and Plank due up. So Jose Canseco, 269 average, 34 homers, 109 runs batted in. And, of course, we know Canseco had speed as well as PEDs. There, had to say it. All right. Palmer deals. Full count. And Jose Canseco looks at a called strike 3. So beautiful pitch there by Palmer, catching the corner. All right, here's Sal Bando, member of those great 1970s Oakland A's. 277 last season for Bando, 22 home runs, 89 runs batted in. Palmer brings the 0-2 pitch, and Sal Bando, this one just below the belt, called strike 3. This, by the way, I should tell you guys, I've done some tweaking with this, but this is also a subset of the baseball history collection. And all 30 franchises plus their past franchises represented here. And this is a fun one. So something easy to create if you have the baseball history collection. Again, Dave's got to, he really needs to bring back some of these sets, the Decades League, this one, all that kind of stuff. All right. So Eddie Plank here, 231 average last season. Including a triple and 9 runs batted in. Jim Palmer deals 1-1 pitch. Plank swings and 2 hopper to second. And that's going to be Roberts to Murray. So that will retire the side. Score remains unchanged, 2-0. The A's over the Orioles. All right. Back at the top of the order now for the Orioles and Brian Roberts, who singled to open the game. Gettysburg Eddie deals. And this one, a little bunt out in front of the mound, catching the A's napping. And how about that, baseball fans? Roberts gets the bunt base hit. And there is Tim, Clee Baseball Fan, 879. John DFW joining us here at Oakland County Coliseum. Greg Reckley says perhaps the A's may have won more in the 1970s if Finley didn't trade his players away. How about it? They were tough. These Oakland A's in the 70s, man, my God, Blue Moon Odom, Vita Blue, Sal Bando, you had Reggie Jackson, in the 70s with the A's. Yeah. Good old Mr. Finley, huh? All right, here's George Stone. So, and I have to correct myself because George Stone representing the it's a little bit of older timey baseball anyhow here. All right, anyhow, so Stone walked back in the first. So here we go. The top of the order are able to get to Eddie Plank, but not able to get anybody home thus far. Here's the pitch, and George Stone, he just bunts this little ball. This one kind of popped very slowly. Eddie Collins there, but Jimmy Fox will make the catch. So one away and nowhere for Roberts to go. And here's Ken Singleton. So Singleton lined out to left back in the first. Plank throws over. Roberts just back safely ahead of Jimmy Fox's tag. Plank brings it home. 3-1 pitch. Singleton swinging on the hitter's count. Bando has it at third, and he will throw to Collins to get out number 2. The relay not in time. So fielder's choice there. Singleton aboard, and Singleton no real threat to steal. Here's Eddie Murray batting righty against the lefty Plank. Murray grounded into a double play his last time up. Plank brings it home. The 1-2 pitch to Eddie Murray. Swung on, drilled deep to left. Back on it. Indian Bob Johnson at the track makes the catch, and the Orioles are turned away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the third inning. It's still 2-0 in favor of the A's. We're back at the top of the order. Eddie Collins, Bert Campaneris, and Bucketfoot Al Simmons. So Cocky Collin called as such because he was never, ever shy about talking about his exploits at the bat and on the field. And the thing about Eddie Collins is he can back it up. So Collins walked and had a stolen base back in the first. Lefty stands in. Palmer has the sign here from Rick Farrell, and the 1-0 pitch to Collins. Collins swings this one, tap back to the mound. Palmer very quickly gets rid of it. You don't want Eddie Collins on board if you're the Orioles. One away, Bert Campaneris. He is 1-for-1 RBI single that scored Eddie Collins. Campaneris also with a steal in this game. Palmer brings it home. The count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one tapper deep to short, and Cal Ripken unloads it onto Eddie Murray for the 6-3 putout. So 2 A's up, 2 A's down now for Bucketfoot Al Simmons. He flew out last time up. 1-0 pitch. Simmons swings, and this one up the middle, and Ripken, great play there, covering a lot of territory for the 6-3 putout. So the A's go in order. We go to the top of the fourth, and the A's still lead the Orioles 2-0. All right, Cal Ripken, Rick Farrell, and Brady Anderson do upgrade correctly. Hey, H-Field 7 is here. H-Field 7. He says, evening all, just finished a series on Strats. A good timing to see. This is an all-time great team to tune into now. Thanks for coming in, man. Greg says he was in an Expos game in Montreal on the day that Blue Moon Odom and Raleigh Fingers pitched a combined no-hitter. Odom had left the game with a blister. Man, oh man, to be able to just see some of these great games, that would have been something to see, Greg. Oh my God. To see something like that, says history. And 2 fantastic pitchers combining for that no-no. How about it? I'd like to go back in time to the Ernie Shore Babe Ruth game. Babe Ruth, it's 2. I mean, I feel badly for Ernie Shore. So it's credited as a combined no-hitter, apparently. Could have been a perfect game, but the story is, I guess, Ruth was arguing calls balls and strikes on the with the umpire, and the first hitter, this is when he was with the Red Sox, got ejected. Ernie Shore came in and pitched a no-hitter. Poor Ernie, man. So Babe Ruth still credited in there, but Ernie Shore works the rest of the 8 2/3 innings and gets it. So Ernie Shore, this one's for you, even though we're not playing the Red Sox tonight. All right, here we go. So Cal Ripken Jr. Grounded to second, back in the second. Eddie Plank right now pitching a 4-hitter. And the 1-1 pitch. Ripken sends this one to right field. Canseco has it measured up, and it doesn't hit off the top of his head. So 1 away. I shouldn't pick on Jose so much. He could kick my ass. Anyhow, here's Rick Farrell grounded to third, back in the second. Babe Herman, 1 hit off his head too. So Canseco is in good company. 1-1 pitch. And this one, line drive, base hit up to center, and turning on the Jets is Rick Farrell, and he's going to pick up a double. How about that? All right, so extra base hit here, and hit number 5 for the Orioles with 1 down, and it brings up Brady Anderson, and Anderson can tie it up here with a swing of the bat. Single to right, back in the second, so he too is seeing the great Eddie Plank pretty well. 0-1 pitch. Anderson cuts on this one, line to right. Canseco has it. So 2 away. Good play by Jose Canseco in that sinking liner, and brings up great Brooks Robinson. So singled back in the second inning. Plank has a sign from Black Mike, and the 0-2 pitch. Brady Anderson. This is just going to be a little squibber to second, and Eddie Collins could practically underhand it to Jimmy Fox for the 4-3 inning-ending putout. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The A's still holding on to that 2-run lead. All right, and it will be Jimmy Fox, Mickey Cochran, and Bob Johnson due up. The Beast grounded to short back in the first. So opposing teams need to keep this bat quiet, and you know that's not going to happen for a whole season. 2-0 pitch. Fox swings, and oh my goodness gracious, great grab out there. Give him a little love by Brady Anderson. Gets it at the track, so Jimmy got under it just a little bit. After further review from Steve Tower, it could be the first time you've ever visited here, man. He says, hello, baseball fans. What a collection of players in the field tonight. Steve, I'm really chuffed to have you in here, man. I don't think you've ever been here, so welcome in. Welcome in. We have a nice little baseball family that we have. So hope to see you around a bit more often. Guys, there's a superb channel that you really got to subscribe to. You guys all know him, though, but still, after further review with Steve Tower, check it out. All kinds of great stuff. You like wrestling? Steve's got you covered. You like just about anything, Steve's got you covered. So welcome in, man. Thanks for joining. All right, here's Black Mike now batting with 1 down. Cochran with an RBI single that scored Bert Campaneris back in the first. All right, Palmer asking for a new ball, gets one tossed out to him, now studies the signs from Rick Farrell, has one he likes. The wind in the 0-1 pitch, and Cochran is going to shoot a grounder into right field. Singleton playing it on the hop and fires it in. They're saying poor play. I don't see how on Brian Roberts. Brian Roberts making a good try at it, gets under the webbing and bounces out there to Singleton. All right, so Cochran aboard, and that will bring up Indian Bob Johnson. He is 0 for 1. Grounded to third, 1-0. 1 out, 2-0 your score here in the bottom of the 4th in Oakland. 0-2 pitch on the way. Oh, Johnson swings and misses at some heat there from Palmer. Looks like he took a little bit off of it, though. That fastball coming in at 86, but that counts. All right, so 2 away now. And brings up Jose Canseco. He is 0 for 1. He was a strikeout victim his last time up. Count full on Canseco. And big swing and a miss. So no runs, 1 hit, no error. We've played 4. And it's still 2-0 Oakland. So let's hide the scoreboard there. But let's go up and just look here. The bottom of the first, basically Eddie Collins started with a walk, stole second. Campaneris batted him in. Campaneris steals second. And then Mickey Cochran with a single that scored Bert Campaneris. So that's all the scoring in this game, the bottom of the first inning. So now we got a little pitcher's duel going here. For the A's, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on thus far. And for the Orioles, 0-5-0 and 5 stranded. Steve says, how are the players rated for these teams? Single best season of career average. So, Steve, what this is, pardon me, is an older subset of the baseball history collection. So this is basically one of those peak slice of a player's career. And Dave rates them according to that way they have like kind of their own sort of rating system, the Dave Cook Sports WAR rating system and a bunch of other stuff. Steve Tate would be able to speak more knowledgeably or more deeply about that. But essentially, the longer the player's career, the shorter the peak slice. So you kind of are getting players at their best. So let's say in comparison to Strat's career historical disc, which is basically an average of the player's entire career. So this comes with over 18,400 retired players. And it's updated every June, and it's brilliant. I always tell people, I mean, I have every season for this game, but I tell people if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you want to get Action PC Baseball, get this. get the baseball history collection, which is on sale right now. And there's just so many amazing baseball what ifs you can set up just using this massive database. All right, here's Jim Palmer. And Palmer struck out back in the second. So we're going to see the 9-1 and 2 hitters, Palmer, Roberts, and Stone. All right, Gettysburg Eddie to deal. 0-2 pitch. And Jim Palmer, big swing and a miss. Eddie Plank dropping the hammer on him there. So one away back at the top of the order now for Brian Robbins. So he's 2 for 2 today. So seeing Eddie Plank really well. 3-1 pitch. And this one is just going to be kind of golfed foul a little bit there, a little chip shot, if you will. Count full now on Brian Roberts. And here's the 3-2 pitch. And Brian Roberts just lunged at that one. It looks like Eddie Plank got him to chase. Gotcha. So it's Canseco's peak with the A's, not so much this time with the Rangers. Pretty much, Steve. That's it. And Robert Greeton, Steve. Greg Recchi says went to a twilight doubleheader in Toronto. Nolan Ryan pitched game 1 for the Angels, gave up a hit in the first inning, he said he arrived in the second and never gave up another hit. So Nolan Ryan, man, you're giving some of that Greg Recchi, right? Now if you could have just done some of your baseball juju and got him to the Pirates, wouldn't that have been something, huh? To have Nolan Ryan with us at one time. Greg, a fellow Pirate fan here, so there are a few of us in the community. I think there's like 5 Pirate fans in this entire community. So there we go. Greg's seeing some great games. All right, what's the deal here with George Stone? He a little bump just popped out, bunted back in the first. All right, Plank deals. 2-1 is the count, and this one slapped foul, third base side. All right, ball girl gets it, tosses it into seats. The count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And swung on, straightens it out, but Bert Campaneris can cover a lot of acreage there. It's short, fires on to the beast, Jimmy Fox, for out number 3. No runs, hits, or errors. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The A's still with a 2-0 lead. Truth Hurst Wilkie joining us. Yep, can't forget the Cardinals. Strangely enough, that's the National League franchise I root for when the Pirates are out of it. Cardinals, gushing about them the other night. What a great history that franchise has. Relative to all the other, older franchises in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals, late to the dance, if you will, if I can use a basketball term. 1926, their first series, and they win it. And of course, you guys know, Chicago Cubs are not going to like what the St. Louis Cardinals, but always see them in contentions. I was telling Greg the other night in the broadcast, when I see the Cardinals in last place in the division, I think I've been put into some alternate universe. So I'm hoping for some good things from the Cardinals this year, certainly. The only time I don't like the Cardinals is when the Pirates play them. But other than that, I love the St. Louis Cardinals. All right, Sal Bando is 0-for-1, struck out back in the second. So we're going to have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Sal Bando, Eddie Plank, and Eddie Collins. Jim Palmer deals the 2-0 pitch. Bando swings. This one driven to left and open the window. Aunt Minnie. Sal Bando goes yard here, 346 feet. Adding a little bit more insurance here, and the A's now leading this one 3-0. Bando got his money's worth there. I look like Palmer might have hung a little breaking ball there, and Canseco just on it like brown on rice, guys. So Greg says he has more success with his baseball teams than his AFL, NFL teams. Robert says we need to do a chin wag before the start of the 2025 season to make picks. Robert, it'd be awesome, but it'd be really even more awesome than that. I'd like you to think about it. We could start it earlier because I know you're not a vampire like me. Wouldn't it be cool if we did the chin wag on your channel, man? I would love it. Give it some thought if you'd like. We could always do it here, but we definitely will. Because I'm sure you'd like to talk about your New York Mets. And just everybody. We're going to have a lot of Red Sox fans but that's all right. We should have a designated Red Sox fan. Now, we love you guys. We love you guys. But yeah, Robert, I think it'd be fantastic. And a great chance for people, if they come on the mic, get Tim to talk about what he's doing. Anybody wants to come on. So if we do it on this one, and Robert, if we do it on yours, however you want to do it, man. All right, Eddie Plank grounded to second. Back last time up. Jim Palmer hanging in there. Palmer getting touched up, though, by Sal Bando. He wants to get Eddie Plank here. 3-2 pitch, and he walks Eddie Plank. So Palmer, I don't know, a little chink in the armor here. That's the second walk he's given up. Don't expect Eddie Plank to go anywhere in terms of steals. Here's Eddie Collins. Collins, nothing for one. Walked with a stolen base. And here's the pitch. Collins gets the bunt down, and Collins could beat this out. Close play at first, and they get Collins. So sacrifice, though. Eddie Plank moves into scoring position. And Greg likes the Red Sox. I do, too. If there's a team I do not like in baseball, I just simply do not like, it's the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, I think they were awesome back in the 80s. But I don't know. There's just something about just the sort of Brewers. I don't know what it is. It's like they're just, I don't know, man. Hard to say. Hate is a strong word. Least favorite baseball franchise for me has to be the Milwaukee Brewers. And I was so last year hoping the Cubs could take them down, and of course the Cubs didn't happen. Not a good year for baseball in the Windy City last year. My God, the White Sox, how about it? Their fans would boo when they won a game. So, but 1962 Mets now, not the worst team in modern baseball history. So congratulations, Jerry Reinsdorf, I guess. All right, here's Bert Campaneris. He is 1 for 2. RBI single back in the first, grounded to short in the third. Eddie Plank finding himself at second base. And Palmer kind of ignoring him. 1-2 pitch on the way to Campaneris. Swung on, grounded to second. Plank was moving with the pitch. They get Campaneris, but a little station-to-station baseball. And Eddie Plank finds himself the potential fourth run, just 90 feet away for Al Simmons. Dangerous bat here. Jim Palmer working out of the stretch. 0-1 pitch to Szymanski. And Al Simmons sends a high fly ball out towards short. Cal Ripken Jr. gloves it for out number 3. So the A's do pick up a run on 1 hit, no errors. We played 5. And it's the A's 3 and the O's nothing. I was, dude, so let me tell you what, Robert, I was rooting so hard. Yes. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anybody beats the Brewers, I love them. Even the Yankees. Even the Yankees. Aaron Reed, welcome in, my friend. So Greg says that he was a Blue Jays season ticket holder from 79 till 94. So even when they were awful, they could beat the Blue Jays. Yeah, I was so happy about that, Robert. So we'll see. I think there's gonna be a little magnifying glass in your New York Mets this year. So it'll be fun to talk about that when we do have our chin wag, and maybe we can try to schedule something like that for maybe, I don't know what country they're playing the quote unquote opening day in, but maybe we do about a week or so, maybe a week beforehand, after everybody gets a good look at spring training and see what's going on. That's such a great idea, Robert. I love it. All right, Ken Singleton going to lead things off. The 3-4-5 hitters due up for the O's. Singleton, Murray, and Ripken Jr. Singleton in the game, he is 0 for 2. All right, Eddie Plank working on a 5-hitter right now and a 3-run lead for him. 0-2 pitch. Singleton swings, fly ball. Simmons back on the track, ranging to his left against the wall, and makes the grab. So Singleton gave it a ride. All right, here's Eddie Murray now. Eddie is 0 for 2, flew out his last time up. Eddie Plank peers in, has the sign from Black Mike, Mickey Cochran, the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and lofted to left. Bob Johnson backpedals about 5 steps, and he will glove it for out number 2. So Plank, not known as a big strikeout pitcher, even if you look at his record, but Plank had excellent control, could just get the ball where his defense could do the work for him. And great pitcher, certainly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But a lot of the dead ball guys like Rube Waddell and Walter Johnson, they had that real obvious dominance, and Plank was kind of a different sort of pitcher in that way, but just an amazing pitcher. All right, 2 down for Cal Ripken. And for those of you new to this family, you'll find I talk a lot about, and I do normally play a lot of dead ball baseball, because I think these are forgotten heroes and shouldn't be forgotten. So I tend to focus a little bit more on them when they're in a game. All right, Eddie Plank deals count full to Cal Ripken Jr., and Eddie Plank gives up the walk. So that's his second free pass of the game. And Ripken Jr. aboard, and here's Rick Farrell now. Rick Farrell doubled his last time up. Eddie Plank with the 0-2 pitch. Farrell swings. This one, grounder. Eddie Collins up with it over to Jimmy Fox. And once again, the O's are turned away. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It's the A's 3 and the Orioles nothing. And we will see the 4, 5, 6 slots due up. Jimmy Fox, Mickey Cochran, and Indian Bob Johnson. So the Beast he flew out to deep center his last time up. Anderson going ways back on that ball, and Jimmy Fox just a millimeter under the ball, or this thing is history. All right, 1-0 pitch. Fox swings, and this one drilled out to center, but once again, Brady Anderson has his number, as does Jim Palmer. So just a big loud out for Double X from Sutter, Maryland. All right, Mickey Cochran, perfect 2 for 2 today, including an RBI back in the first, scored Bert Campaneris. Palmer rubbed up the ball, and the 0-1 pitch. Cochran, base hit, left field. So Black Mike aboard, 3 for 3 for him. Hearty cheer going up around here in Oakland for him. And here's Bob Johnson now, 0 for 2. He whiffed against Jim Palmer back in the 4th. 3-1 pitch on the way. Johnson swings. Number back to the mound, and Palmer will go to second. Roberts covering, and over to Murray for a 1-6-3 inning-ending double play. We go to the top of the 7th, still 3-0. Aaron Reed says that he likes Brady Anderson, good 90s ball player. Yeah, he was. So Greg says he would have been happier had Roberts Mets beat the Yankees in the series. New York Yankees. Love the players. Don't like the franchise too much. I always think of the New York Yankees as kind of showing up at the ballpark with briefcases and talking to their stockbrokers and stuff. I don't know. But, again, Ruth, Gehrig, Lazzeri, Mantle, DiMaggio, Jackson, Bernie Williams, Bobby Mercer, just so many, Yogi Berra. So you got to love, you can't hate the players for being Yankees, I guess. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the Steinbrenner effect still on me. I don't know. Anyhow, here's Brady Anderson. So Aaron Reed talking about Brady Anderson. He's going to lead it off. Brooks Robinson waits on deck. So Robinson way down in the 8th slot. So this Orioles team not looking particularly strong today, but I got a feeling they're going to be in contention as the season moves along. All right. Anyhow, Brady Anderson, 1 for 2, lined out his last time up. Eddie Plank with a 5-hitter still. 1-0 pitch. Anderson swings. Routine ground ball to Eddie Collins and score that one 4-3. All right. 1 away for one of my modern heroes, Brooks Robinson. 1 for 2. 1-1 pitch. And Robinson slashes this one up the middle, splitting Eddie Collins and Bert Campaneris. So here comes Jim Palmer, who has struck out twice. Doesn't look like Baltimore. Let's see. Are they going to allow him to hit in the 7th? They are. And Jim Palmer goes down one more time. So 3 Ks on Palmer. We swing around to the top of the order now, and Brian Roberts. So interesting choice for the Orioles manager to allow Palmer to bat down 3-0. Just so you can see, looking at this Baltimore roster, we do have quite a few inactive players, but there were some choices here, I think. So, but as these guys get activated, you can see this is a pretty stacked team. You're gonna have once you start have Paul Blair anchoring center field right now, inactive. Who else? We have Baby Doll Jacobson from the St. Louis Browns. Excellent ball player, Heine Minush. Boog Powell sitting on the bench. Frank Robinson not getting a start tonight. George Sisler. I think George Sisler will end up being the first baseman for this team as things move along. Mickey Tettleton on this squad as well. So if we even sort this by home runs right now, definitely some power here, as you might expect. So you look at all these players who are in double digits and homers, going down to Jacobson, who basically played in the teens and 20s. All right. So, and for those of you who might be curious, let's quickly have a look at just who is just the hitters on the A's. So, who do we got here in the bench? So you got both Hendersons on the bench. Not too bad there. You got Napoleon Lajoie, Jimmy Dykes, Amos Strunk. So strong teams, both of them. Legends, how you doing, man? I got home too late to catch your American League game. Guys, again, I have to say, oh yeah, now the Yankees can wear a beard. How about it? Who said the New York Yankees, the evil empire? Aaron Reed, yep. So, guys, I have to do my usual public service announcement for my friend here, Legends, and as I do for Robert, too, and everybody else. Season 4 of the Franchise Stars Baseball League is the best yet. Legends waiting for you to do a live game, but he's been doing a lot of premieres. But these games have been uniformly nothing short of fantastic. I mean, there's only been, at least of the games I've seen, there's only been one kind of just sort of regular baseball game. These have been nail biters. They have been crazy turnarounds. Legends he's outdone himself, and that's high praise. That is high praise because this Franchise Stars Baseball League is astounding. Guys, stay with it. Robert also doing 1983 season replay, and I can't say it like Robert, but we'll just say inside pitch baseball. Oh yeah, I'll give Steve's. Yeah, you're right. We got to do that. So Steve, you get a sort of dispensation here, if you will. So what I do when people come in here 3 times, it's like you're a member of the family and you get a wrench. But man, I know your reputation. Robert's absolutely right. So it's not like you have to actually do anything. The wrench is my way of saying thank you. But if some trash comes in, feel free to bonk them, because I never question what moderators do. But this is really just thanks for coming to the channel, man. I've been on here since 2018, and I think this is your first visit. So really, really appreciate you coming in. And this is a thank you. And yeah, Robert's right. We're going to waive the 3 visit rule for you, bud. All right, let's get you set up here. And there you go. You have yourself a Craftsman wrench now. How about that? All right. So, Steve, the other thing that I want you to know, and because Legends already knows this, Robert already knows this, and when I have chin wags or even just in the chat, when you have something coming up, you're working on something, let everybody know. Steve is a good guy. I've seen him with our Red Sox fans, seen him in Robert's broadcast. Steve, anything you got coming up, doesn't matter. Let us know. Let everybody know. All right, guys. I think everybody here is subscribed to Steve Towers' channel, but if maybe you're like one of the people in the sports community here on YouTube who hasn't subscribed. But anyhow, back to Legends. He says master of understatement. He says it's been a good crop of games so far. Thankfully, they've been astounding. Wow. I can't spoil. I can't. You guys, If you got a day when nobody's doing any baseball on YouTube, or there's only one game, and you're just you know what, grab a beverage of your choice, cook up a few hot dogs, whatever it is. And Legends is just, he's an amazing broadcaster for one thing. And you are going to feel like you're there in the ball game. And I will remind everybody that he has rated the 1,800 players that, and just all the work that he's done. Just absolutely incredible. It's just astounding, man. So check it out, guys. You won't regret it. And again, content creators and guys who don't create YouTube content, talk about your projects, man. People want to hear. We want to hear. All right. Anyhow, back to the ball game here. Brian Roberts batting with 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Roberts, 2 singles, but he struck out back in the 5th. So Eddie Plank with a 6-hitter. And count full on Roberts. Roberts cuts on this one. Line drive, base hit to center. Simmons up with it. But he hits the cutoff man, Campaneris. So Simmons not the strongest arm out there. Roberts with his 3rd hit today. And here comes George Stone now. Stone 0 for 2 with a walk, grounded short his last time up. So the Orioles trying to make some noise here. Looking at Stone here, as far as a home run hitter, I mean, occasionally he might knock one out, but just 3 coming in from last season. Plank from the stretch, 1-0 pitch. Stone swings, and this one, ground ball, base hit. Stone has himself an RBI as Brooks Robinson comes in to score, and the Orioles finally get on the board here in the 7th. They're saying Jimmy Fox making a bad play on that one. All right, here's number 3 hitter now, Ken Singleton. Runner still at the corners, and Eddie Plank looking for that elusive 3rd out. Singleton, in this game, 0 for 3, flew out his last time up. Digs in the box. And Eddie Plank finding himself working out of the stretch, unfamiliar territory for him in this game. The Orioles hadn't gotten anybody past second base prior to this inning. Cochran out to have a quick word back behind the plate. Count full on Singleton. And Singleton swing and a miss. 7th inning stretch time. The A's lead the O's 3-1. Be right back. All right, I think somebody just on in the first base grandstands was a little semitone flat, but the guy behind him was a semitone sharp, so we're good. Welcome in, Cousin Ken Castro. Good to see you. And Sports Time Machine. So Sports Time Machine, guys, there's another excellent channel for you guys to check out. Mike is doing something very near and dear to my heart, even though he's playing it from all the Yankees' perspective. But doing a 1930 season replay. So do check that out. Subscribe to Sports Time Machine. And Mike, of course, does a lot of, he does a lot of football, does a lot of other stuff. Mike is a big Yankees fan, so I have to behave myself now. But I will anyhow because he's a big fan of Pirates broadcaster Greg Brown. So I love it in a lot. Sometimes, in Mike, when there's a home run in his game, and if it's a Yankee that hits it, he will do clear the decks, cannonball coming. So it's all good. Hope you're doing well tonight, Mike. Hope all is well out there in the beautiful state of Utah. All right. Jose Canseco now bat. He is 0 for 2 in the game. Canseco, Bando, and Eddie Plank. So he's whiffed twice. Jim Palmer, pitching as far as pitch count goes. Touched up, though, for 3 runs. Only 1 home run, though, so that's good. 3-1 pitch behind Canseco. And we're going to see now. We're going to say that Earl Weaver is managing here, so we'll see if there's going to be any movement in the pen. Sal Bando in there. Bando, of course, with that big solo shot back in the 5th that gave the A's their third run. Canseco, decent lead off of first. Palmer checks the runner, throws over. Canseco back easily. 0-2 pitch. Bando cuts on this one. Pop foul, third base side. This one will make the seats. All right. So Bando now 0-2. Palmer looking to maybe induce a little 2-ball here. Here's the pitch. And Palmer misses. So Jim Palmer now 4 free passes to accompany his 4 Ks in this game. Not seeing anything yet. Infield in now for Eddie Plank. 0-1 pitch to Plank. Plank taps this one foul, third base side, so he's going to get another look. Eddie in this game walked back in the 5th. So Jim Palmer not looking especially sharp. 0-2 pitch. Plank swings. Hard hit ground ball to short. Ripken to Roberts to Murray. And on the play, Jose Canseco moves to third. So threat almost neutralized. But here comes Eddie Collins, nothing for 1. Palmer from the stretch in the 1-0. They're going to intentionally walk Eddie Collins for Bert Campaneris, who's 1 for 3 in the game. Campaneris last time up, grounded to second. Campaneris back in the first with an RBI single. Eddie Collins at first, Canseco at third. And the 0-1 pitch. Campaneris swings. This should end the inning. Palmer fields it off the bump onto Eddie Murray. So the A's threaten but do not score. We go to the top of the 8th inning, and the A's lead the Orioles 3-1. And we're going to see Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken Jr., and Rick Farrell do up. Is Alex Grammas the third base coach? LOL. So he's also starting a 1978 American League Stratomatic replay. So 1978, hell of a season. And Mike, what you've got to do, obviously, is when you get to that point in the season. Robert, thank you for coming in as always, guys. Robert's off to bed, so but again, 1983 season replay, RJO Network, guys. Hear the stadium barf, cheer, and do all kinds of things. So when the infamous Bucky Dent game comes up, Mike, you got to really let everybody know when that's coming up. You can have some crazy. That'd be a crazy seeing that game again, 1978. All right. All right, here we go. 1-2 pitch on the way now to Eddie Murray, and pop behind the plate. Cochran flings aside the mask, but this will go 4 rows back. So somebody with a nice souvenir here from Eddie Murray. All right, back in the box. Eddie Plank with the 1-2 pitch, and Eddie Murray chases one out of the zone, and Eddie Plank picks up strikeout number 6. All right, Cal Ripken now in the box, and Ripken walked his last time up. Plank with the 1-2 delivery, and another bad pitch out of the zone. The Orioles just swinging at anything near the plate. So that's K number 7. And I said earlier, Eddie Plank not really known. I mean, he could strike him out, but Eddie Plank, again, was not Rube Waddell or Walter Johnson, since we're talking about dead ball pitchers. Eddie Plank wasn't a strikeout pitcher. He was a superb pitcher, but Plank tonight looking a little bit more like Rube Waddell, who I think is somewhere on this team, and well, he should be. Let's look at the pitchers. Yep, he is. And when Rube Waddell, so read some, we've all read some crazy things about, or some of the crazy things that Waddell did. But one thing that doesn't get mentioned a lot about Rube is hitters would say if you got Rube angry, they said you didn't want to do that because Waddell would bear down. And apparently Waddell was just strong as an ox. And they said his fastball, when Waddell was pissed and focused on the game, you couldn't hit him. And I mean, he held strikeout records for decades and decades. So when he is up to pitch, we're going to be seeing these A's again, certainly. Love Rube Waddell. Died April 1st, 1914. All right, here's Rick Farrell. So Farrell with a double in this game. Grounded to second his last time up. 1-0 pitch with 2 down. And this one lined past Collins into right field. Canseco and Simmons converge. Canseco gets to the ball. And Farrell is aboard. Brings up Brady Anderson now. So Anderson 1 for 3. 0-2 pitch. And the lefty swings. Fly ball to right. Canseco ranging to his right. And that is the third out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And a runner left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And it's still the A's 3, Orioles 1. Pretty good ball game here as Al Simmons steps in. So bucket foot Al, this bat has been quiet. 0 for 3. Jimmy Fox waits on deck. Palmer staying in the game. 2-2 pitch. Simmons swings. This is going to stay in the infield. Room service bounce to Brooks Robinson. Fires it on to Eddie Murray for the 5-3 putout. So 1 away now, and the Beast is also 0 for 3. But the last 2 times up, long drives out to Brady Anderson at the wall. All right, Palmer ready to go now. Has the sign he likes from Rick Farrell. And the 1-1 pitch. Fox swings. This one fly ball to left, but Singleton barely has to move. So 2 away. Mickey Cochran in line, should the A's hold on and win this game, to be player of the game. He is 3 for 3 today, including an RBI back in the first. Checking in on the chat. Steve Tower says, not 1978. and Mike countering with, well, what are the chances the Yankees make that comeback again? Well, Mike, it's baseball. So anything can happen, my friend. And you know that as a lifelong baseball fan. What a crazy game it is, huh? Greg says, coming with another great story, rubbing it in here. I love it. Says he saw Bob Gibson being interviewed. Okay, Bob Gibson being interviewed on Good Morning America years ago with Reggie Jackson. And David Hartman asked Bob, what would you do if Reggie hit a home run and admired it? Gibson had no fear, and Reggie had all kinds of swagger. So I love that story about Bob Gibson, right, drilling some guy in an old timers game, like 15 years after the guy, like whoever it was, I don't remember the name of the hitter. Guy's a rookie, gets up against Gibson, hits a home run. They meet up in an old timers game, and Gibson hits him. So love Bob Gibson, man. Imagine you're the manager and you've got to go out because Gibson, like anybody, he's going to have a bad day here and there. Could you imagine asking Bob Gibson for the ball? That's like, whew. All right. Anyhow, Black Mike, 3 for 3, Hall of Fame catcher, batting left here, as he always did. 0-2 pitch. Cochran swings, high drive to center, but once again, Brady Anderson is a veritable Hoover. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and it's the bottom of the order for the Orioles here. Apologize, guys, starting to get a little tired. Early day at work tomorrow. So Brooks Robinson, I'm hoping that they'll put in a pinch hitter for Jim Palmer, and then Brian Roberts at the top of the order. Eddie Plank, just 1 run thus far in 8 worked, and scattered 9 hits. All right, so Brooks in the game is 2 for 3. Cochran sets the target for Eddie Plank, and Plank to deal. The 2-1 pitch. Robinson swings, and this one lined to right, and this is going to get down for a base hit. And potential tying run comes to the plate. And we will see who's going to bat for Palmer. And we're going to see Mark Belanger coming into pinch hit. So, again, we're seeing a lot of the big hitters for the Orioles. I'm thinking right away of Boog Powell inactive. Maybe they're saving Frank Robinson if Belanger gets aboard here. All right. So, yes, of course we will. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. Belanger swings. This one tapped foul, third base side. All right, the count 1-2 now on Belanger. And Belanger cut and a miss. So one away. And we're back at the top of the order. And Brian Roberts. 3 for 4 on the day. Plank brings it home. 2-0 pitch. Roberts back to the mound. Plank's going to go to first. Jimmy Fox 2 away. And it is down to George Stone. And if I was managing this team, I would bring in Frank Robinson. But we'll see. Nope. 0-2 pitch. George Stone swings. Grounder to Eddie Collins, on to Jimmy Fox, and that's your ball game. All right, let's look at our recap, and then we'll check in with Chad again. So Baltimore wins its home opener. Jim Palmer, 0-1, and Eddie Plank goes the distance. Both pitchers. Eddie Plank goes to 1-0. Let's look at highlights here first for the Baltimore Orioles in a losing cause. Brooks Robinson went 3 for 4 in the game. Brian Roberts 3 for 5. For the A's, Mickey Cochran goes 3 for 4. Sal Bando 1 for 2 with a home run. Let me see. No triples in this game, which always depresses me. Only one double. That one hit by Rick Farrell. And the only home run, again, by Sal Bando. Let's have a quick look at pitching. So Jim Palmer went 8, 5 hits, 3 runs all earned, gave up that home run to Sal Bando, walked 5 and struck out 4. So begins the season with a 3.38 earned run average. Eddie Plank goes the distance, gives up 1 earned run, walked 2, and he goes back to Rube Waddell and said, yep, Rube, I struck out 8 in this game. So an ERA of 1. I'm guessing it's probably going to be Eddie Plank is going to get player of the game. So held the Orioles just 1 run on 10 hits. But I'm going to give co-player of the game honors to Mickey Cochran. So let's see what we get here. So your MVP is indeed Eddie Plank. So he'll be happy to share that. All right. We're going to autoplay a couple games here. So Mike says, Greg says, he saw Gibson at home run at 60. Off the windows at the Dome. He also threw a pitch at 94 miles per hour, age 60. Holy shit. Mike says on Spokane, Steve's Staromatic channel, he pulled Gibson out in the top of the 9th, and I said, well, he should roll a 6-sided die. 1 to 5, Gibson tells you, fuck off, and go back 6. You take him off, and you survive. Love it. Yeah, Burt Campaneris, how about it? All right, so a few of these games I'm going to autoplay because there's this league is so, right? So Yankees and Tigers, we're going to leave that one. But, okay, Philadelphia and the Royals. So old Pete would love to see it. Yeah, let's do that one go. There's some good ones here, actually. Okay, so Pirates and San Diego. This is Pud Galvin, Dave Roberts. We're going to autoplay this one. And the Padres edge the Pirates 2-1. Roberts does get the win. Ralph Kiner in a losing cause goes 2 for 3 and hits a home run. All right. Tampa Bay versus the Cleveland Indians. So Alvarez versus Perry. And here we go. And this is going to be the Indians over Tampa Bay 9-3. Perry with the win. Carlos Zambrano tagged with the loss. Hal Trotsky goes 2 for 3, hits a home run, 4 runs batted in. Big Hal Trotsky. There we go. All right. We're going to save this one. Walter Johnson and Fergie Jenkins. We just gotta. All right. Really no interest in the Arizona guys. So even though Randy Johnson's playing, so Slayton versus Johnson, and Arizona edges Milwaukee 4-3. Kim with the win. Dan Plesac tagged with the loss. Clark goes 2 for 3 with a double. Red Sox versus the Mariners. So Young versus Moore. And, this one taking a little while here. Okay, there we go. So Seattle shuts out Boston 4-0. Reynolds goes 2 for 4 with a home run. I always like to look at shutout games. And that was a nice 4-hitter. Ken Griffey Jr. went 1 for 3 with a home run, 2 runs batted in for the M's in that game. Ibanez goes 2 for 3 with a home run and a stolen base. and Reynolds 2 for 4 with a home run. So the Mariners swinging the lumber there in that one. All right. Yankee or Mets and Dodgers, Seaver versus Pfeffer. Boy, that's tempting, but we're going to go ahead and autoplay that one. The Dodgers edge the Mets 4-3. Pfeffer with the win. Tug McGraw with the loss. Ransay 2 for 4 with 2 home runs and 3 runs batted in the game for him. All right, next up, White Sox and the Astros, I believe. Let's go to the top. No, not yet. The Braves and the Reds, Negro and Hahn. That one looks like one we're going to save too. All right, White Sox and Astros, Walsh versus Negro. Big fan of those guys too. Damn it. All right, here we go. Brown versus Estacio. Miami versus Colorado. Colorado edges Miami 3-2. Betancourt with the win. Brown takes the loss. Young goes 2 for 2 with a stolen base. Cubs and Giants. Clarkson versus Welsh. So 2 19th century pitchers. Let's see how it goes. And the Cubs take this one from the Giants 7-6. Brown with the win. Welch takes the loss. Bill Terry goes 3 for 5 with a triple. So we have some games saved to play. Steve Rogers, Joaquin Andujar. That one looks fun. Washington versus the St. Louis Cardinals. We got Dave Steve versus Nolan Ryan. I think another good one. So got some good matchups here. So we'll continue this another night. And we're also going to continue with our decades league play and other things. So finally, I can say that we will be doing, once Mike Silva's ballparks will be available in Out of the Park 26, Ned McGreevy League. Will be done in Out of the Park 26 for those of you who are interested. I'm hoping, once I get everything set properly, that we can get that going end of March, beginning of April, so it'll coincide with the beginning of baseball season. So if you're a fan of old-timey baseball, and made another executive decision, by the way, so hopefully this is going to be all right with Cousin Ken Castro, I have decided to not include the 1920s decade in the next McGreevy League. But we will allow Babe Ruth for the first time into the McGreevy League as a pitcher. So that will be the stipulation. So he can't play the field, but he can pitch pretty much. So whoever would be managing and getting Babe Ruth. So no 1920s. Yep. So Greg says in the future he's going to give us the true dimensions of Exhibition Stadium. I would have liked to have seen a game at Exhibition Stadium. Mike says on his channel he donates to the Beatles channel for the endangered. Thank you for that, Mike. He's going to donate $5 to the Beatles channel for the Endangerment of Triples Foundation. It's my favorite hit in baseball is the triple. Damn it, So thank you for that, Mike. So yeah, I really thought about it. Hey, thank you, Steve, for coming in. You're always welcome. And I'll be catching some of your broadcasts when I can as well. So thank you. Yeah, Ken, I really gave it a lot of thought. And I just think that, you're starting to bring in guys like, and this is, you're starting to bring in, Garrett and Fox and whomever, right? And I think just bringing in that decade kind of upsets the whole thing of how we wanted to feature 19th century baseball. So that being said, though, I am still sticking with the other decision that we are going back to 1871. So it'll be 1871 to 1919 will be the next Ned McGreevy League. So we are going to go further back in history since Out of the Park baseball goes that far. I do want to do something with 1920s baseball later. I don't know what yet, but I think it's a fascinating decade because that's the transition decade. They mark 1920 as the beginning of the live ball era, but if you look at it, it really isn't yet. You still have dead ball tactics, and you had one home run hitter in 1920, and a great pennant race, which Mike, Sports Time Machine, has done in the past. 1920, great season. White Sox and the Indians going neck and neck in the American League. And then who drops the band hammer? Of course, Judge Landis on those. By that time, 7 White Sox players, I believe, it was either Gandil or Riceburg were out of baseball already by then. They had retired, one of those 2 guys at the end of the 1919 season. So, but the remaining 7 Black Sox, given the heave-ho, and Cleveland ending up taking the 1920 pennant. Baseball is back, spring training, says Aaron Reed. Absolutely. He says so Greg says he was his first Blue Jays game in the snowstorm. He's young and foolish, and you love baseball. So, yeah, I think we all have done crazy things like that. I remember going to a Pirate game. It was when I was an undergrad, and it turned out we were at the ballpark for something like 6 hours because there were like 2 1.5 hour rain delays. And man, it's baseball. I'm one of those people. I don't want them to speed up the game. In the respect that when I go to a baseball park, I'm there, and for me, that's all that matters. I don't care. But I loved it, man. Just hanging out 6 hours, drank some beers, enjoyed the baseball, and the Pirates won. So that was good. So, yeah, no 1920s in McGreevy. So Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, Lou Gehrig, all those guys, Ken Williams, they'll get their day in the sun down the road. So Greg also telling us, he says that he'd been to the first ever Expos game, so he had to go to the first ever Blue Jays game. You have to. It's just representing for Canada, right? So Greg, what's your opinion on, just curious, what's your opinion on Canada getting another baseball team? I know that there's some talk about putting a team back in Montreal. Do you think is that a good thing? Or what about Vancouver possibly for a baseball team? Again, though, too close to Seattle, maybe not the best idea. But other provinces, I'm just wondering, like Calgary, and I don't know whether that's like maybe, Manitoba, probably not enough population there. I don't know. Just curious what you would think about a second team in Canada. Second largest country in the world can certainly have 2 baseball teams. That's for sure. I would like to see some expansion in the Caribbean. I think that would be amazing. But the problem is, of course, you don't have, what are you going to do? You're going to put a Major League Baseball team in Hawaii. You're going to start working with time zone issues if you're working in the Pacific side of things. But baseball in the Caribbean, not a bad thing, maybe. He said Bud Selig said a few years after that baseball was to blame for Montreal losing their team. John says he'd like to see, as Greg said, like to see Tampa Bay go to Montreal. I think so. I don't, that team plays so well, but they just, I don't know if is it the ballpark, what is it? But I think Tampa Bay would shine, and Montreal. 1994. So Montreal gets screwed twice, right? The that 1981 season, the work stoppage in the middle of the season, and of course 1994. I think it would be fun, you guys, to do a what if 1994 World Series, and see. Would you say, yep, the Expos would have made it there? We'd have to choose the 1994 American League rep, and do it and have some fun with it. Tony M, welcome in, Tony. Says Dodgers seem to always visit Wrigley in April. So he says he has to get well lubricated at Murphy's, then sit in 30 degrees weather if he's lucky. Yeah, that's right. Because you guys, man, you're down Chavez Ravine and the good weather. And oh, man, yeah, that's Wrigley. Oof. So Greg thinks he would have won. They were tough in 1994. I mean, and so many excellent players came through Montreal. I mean, you look at the 80s, you look at the 90s, and great franchise. Too bad Stade Olympique wasn't holding up her face very well. So that kind of hurts. We'll see. So second expansion, obviously we don't have to talk about Vegas anymore because Las Vegas is going to have a baseball team, the Las Vegas A's. So I don't know. So Montreal, what would be your other city, guys? We'd need one on the West Coast or out sort of westish coast. So obviously there's not going to be anything going into Oakland. But you already have what? You have the Giants, the Angels, Dodgers, Padres. So California kind of, nah. What about, and then what do you do? New Mexico? It'd be, because there's still this kind of paucity of baseball out there. I think Salt Lake City would be a great place for a major league. Yep, Salt Lake. There we go. I did not even see that till you saw it. Till you, right? We were saying, so yeah, well, first Sacramento getting a team. Vancouver. So, Tony, I'm wondering about, I mentioned Vancouver earlier, but that proximity to Seattle, I don't know whether Seattle ownership would want that in Vancouver. Yeah, I think Salt Lake would be, because I've read about just the fans for the Salt Lake Bees. They're like just excellent, great baseball fans. And I think you've got a lot of baseball fans out there in Utah. So why not put a team in Salt Lake City? How about it? So John doesn't want to see any expansion, only relocation. So good point there. That'd be a good talking point tonight for a chinwag. Should baseball relocate franchises or should it expand? With 30 teams now, you could argue that the talent pool, maybe there's a little bit of dilution going on there. But also you have franchises that could be Tampa Bay is one that keeps coming up a lot from people. So Greg says perhaps they build a baseball park with 40,000 seats. Montreal might work. Yep. Mike also said, Salt Lake is that's a good sports town out there. It really, really is. I'd love to see Salt Lake City get a baseball team. Really, really. So Hfield 7 says, after seeing the Marlins roster this year, he said you might agree that the expansion isn't the answer. So, what about that? We can even just on chat here for a couple minutes talk about. So, is 30 enough? Because if you would have, again, though, who would go to Salt Lake? So, if Tampa Bay would end up going to Montreal, right? People are going to drive from Florida, right, to Quebec to see a ball game. They're not going to drive from Florida to Utah. So if Tampa Bay moved to Utah, then, right, because, who do people in Utah pretty much root for? The casual baseball fans probably going to be rooting for the Rockies, I'm guessing. Because who else is the nearest to you? Pretty much is, that's it. Because there's nothing in Montana. There's nothing in the Dakotas. They can't do Major League Baseball in those states, right? John says 30 is plenty. Ken says we still have a you could go in the house somewhere. So a number of Expos games, only 5.5 ride for us. Hey, Midlife Crisis, good to see you, bud. So Mike countering with 32 allows alignment. John saying he feels the elevation in Salt Lake is too high. We don't need another Denver experiment. Okay, he said, so Midlife Crisis adding in here, he says, I think if they go to 32, they have to split up into 4 divisions of 8. Ugh. Realignment 32 teams. Again, Hfield echoing that 4-team divisions and sub 80 win teams likely making the playoffs, though. Yeah. So, and I will chime in on that. The last thing I want to see would be, as much as I'm a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, I love my Buccos. If they would somehow get into the postseason under 500, I wouldn't watch. I would not watch the playoffs, and if they would somehow keep going to make it to the World Series. To me, if you're sub 500, you should never be in a postseason of any damn team sport. I don't get it. I just don't understand that thinking. And you guys remember for years how weak the American League West was. And I forget what year it was. Who was it? The Angels, I think. They were under 500 in first place. It was such a weak division. It's not anymore, but it was then, and not so long ago. Yeah, I could not, wouldn't see it. And I would rather the Pirates go. You know, we haven't been in the postseason since 2015. We haven't won a World Series since 1979. I would rather us go the way of the Guardians Indians and be a long time before we would, if it meant that. No way. There's just no way. There we go. Yeah, the 94 Rangers. Philip Brennell says he's just stopped by to say hi. First real day at work tomorrow. Wish you the best on it, Philip. You'll be great. You will be great. Greg says if they brought Montreal back, they likely would out them to the American League to avoid an all-Canadian World Series. So, yeah, I mean, that would be a Major League Baseball decision, certainly. I think an all-Canadian World Series actually would be super cool. That actually, I think that would actually be a pretty good thing for baseball. Probably in a minority on that, but yeah. 1994 strike, no one was under 500, says Sports Time Machine. So that's good. That's a hot topic. I mean, it seems to me I don't have any more ins than you guys do with the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball, that it looks like that's what's in the wind, is there's going to be expansion. For baseball to just do a realignment and stay at 30 teams, I'm guessing that Rob Manfred and his cohorts, and I'm saying cohorts because I have another name for who's running baseball now. I don't think they would see that they're going to see expansion as advantageous to baseball. They're going to say, well, Charlotte, North Carolina has wanted, a baseball. Right? Charlotte has wanted a baseball team forever. Salt Lake has wanted a baseball team. We're going to expand to Charlotte and Salt Lake. That's what I think they're going to do. But then, as you guys are saying, you're going to have 4 8-team divisions, and tough one. Greg says Bob Costas never stopped whining when the Blue Jays won back-to-back. Blue Jays. That being said, I've said this before, there's 2 guys that I would want for baseball commissioner. George Will, and I know he's in the 80s, but damn it, Paul McCartney is out there playing world tour concerts. I would love to see either George Will or Bob Costas be a real commissioner of baseball. Not Landis Power, but certainly, I mean, because these 2 guys at least love the game. Say what you will about either George Will and George Will would be my preference, or Costas. It's obvious, at least, right, that Costas and George Will both love baseball. I'm convinced that Rob Manfred doesn't even know. He wouldn't know a baseball if Bob Gibson, eternal there, drilled him. He wouldn't know. Wouldn't know what hit him. So, guys, this was really, really fun tonight. Again, no baseball chinwag tomorrow night. Rare Saturday, I'm not going to be here. So, plenty of baseball. Legend Sports Universe, Sports Time Machine, RJL Network. Everybody here support each other. Check out Full Count Baseball, guys. I did a little first look at it last night. It's fun. Still in development. Modern, being some, maintained and modernized and stuff by Jason Leonard. The game is free to download every season from 1871 to 2023. By April, there should be 2024. Comes with 4 all-time great teams. You can create your own. It's a deep game, and it was the only real competitor at the time that Micro League Baseball had. And pretty nice. Comes with 53 ballparks. So check it out. It's a little quirky and a little bit strange sometimes with the play-by-play, and I've got to look into the managers a little bit because they tend to go to their bench like too fast. I've noticed in a couple games, or 2 games that I did offline and 1 game I did online last night. But fun stuff, guys, and it's for free. I think it takes up 50 megabytes. That's it on your hard drive. It's just go get it. You're welcome, Tony. Thank you for coming in. Tony helping me with the an all-time great Dodgers list in our Myths League. help me with the roster out there. So I'm going to try to say thank you to as many people as I can tonight. So thank you to Tony M. One more time, you get a wrench, bud. Sports Time Machine, Greg Gorecki, as always. Great to have both you guys here. Hfield 07, thank you, man. Pleasure to have you. Philip Reynolds, good luck with work tomorrow. Thanks for coming in. Midlife Crisis, as always, thank you, pal. Cousin Ken Castro, the heart and soul of this channel. John DFW, thank you. And again, the creator of our Ned McGreevy Discord, thank you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. It certainly means a lot. It really does. You guys are like family to me. Aaron Reed, awesome. After further review from Steve Tower, man, I feel like we're in the big leagues now. So Steve visited us tonight. Thank you, Steve. Bart Ewing, great to see you, Bart. We don't see you enough here. RGO Network was with us. Remember his 1983 season replay and Inside Pitch Baseball. Legend Sports Universe, kicking ass. Season 4 of the Franchise Stars Baseball League, guys. Miss it at your peril. It's that good. It is that good. Okay, we're going back. As our Berman used to say, boy, do I miss him. Truth Hurts Wilkie was here for a while with us. I got so many emails to answer from him. Clee Baseball Fan 879. Follow his Gaylord Perry replay. He's doing that in Strat. Robert was the first one in the ballpark tonight. So, all right, guys. And Nathaniel Lentz coming in at the end of it. So you know what, Tony? Screw it, man. I'm feeling good here tonight, man. Feeling good. Let's just give you your wrench now because you're gonna be back. I mean, you helped me with that Dodgers roster, dude. So why not? Let's give you your wrench. Then you got it. So let's find Tony M. Tony M. There we go. And yep. You are now a moderator. Bam! There, two new mods tonight. Pretty cool. New comments going down. All right. Yeah, good night, Nathaniel. Hopefully we catch you next time, man. Sunday we'll be back Sunday evening with some baseball. And until then, guys, all kinds of great baseball, guys that kick my ass doing it. Really good baseball out there. Check it out. And until next time, see you around the batting cage, gents.